Blockbusters. You are listening to the Triple B Podcast. Let's fucking go.
Welcome back to another episode of the Triple B Podcast, Bourbon, Belts, and Blockbusters, episode 8. Hey, coming at you.
Already episode 8.
Already episode 8. Dude.
Yeah, let's get right into it, right?
Let's jump on in. Heck
let's
yeah.
get the
Bourbon of the week. What do we got? I'm excited.
We got
It's like Christmas.
Navigator, straight bourbon whiskey from Kentucky. It's a fancy bottle.
That is.
I picked this up from Bevmo. It was on a half-off deal, so I got it at a really good price for what it actually retails. So excited to dive into this.
So the listeners know, what is the actual retail?
Oh, it was like $88.
Oh, okay.
And this got it for $44. So
hell yeah.
Great deal at Bevmo going on.
Great. While we're getting that rolling, I'm going to just plug our socials here. We got our Instagram at TripBPod, our YouTube at Triple B Pod. We have Triple B Podcast, Bourbon, Belts, and Blockbusters on Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon. Our TikTok is at triple.b.podcast. Our X is at triplebpodbros. And then, once again, we've been plugging our email. Just if anyone wants to send us some extra stuff, talking points, questions, anything like that, it's triplebpod619@gmail.com.
So please give us a follow, subscribe, like, share with your friends so we get more followers and more listeners.
Yep.
All right, so let's give this a try.
Go.
Navigator Bourbon.
Booyah.
Wow. All right. Let's go with your thoughts on that. What are you going to give it a ranking of?
Ooh. 8.5.
8.5?
I'm going to go with an 8.5.
I'm going to go with an 8 on it. It got a lot of flavor going on.
A lot of flavor, yeah.
Got a lot of flavor. It got a good burn to it.
The burn, the burn.
It just kind of, you kind of feel it slowly
feel it
going down.
But it was almost like a wasabi effect. Like I felt that up into my sinuses. Like I was like, woo, that's a spicy. Yeah.
But it is
good flavor.
It is good. It's
aftertaste is nice too.
Yeah, I give it 8. You give it an 8.5. This is once again Navigator bourbon. I got it from Bevmo for a really good price. So all right.
Yeah.
Here it comes! Oh my God!
We're gonna go right into
belts. Just for full disclosure, me personally, I'm on a little time crunch today. So we are going to hit important things that we deem necessary.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just for full disclosure and full transparency with our listeners, we have spent part of today getting some other stuff for the podcast going as well. So you guys will see some other things we'll talk about here in a little bit towards the end. But yeah, just so everyone is aware, we're going to start with SmackDown from July 12th.
Yeah, so this is first SmackDown after Money in the Bank, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, and we got Tiffany Stratton opening this show. She puts everyone on notice. She puts the NXT champion, the Raw champion, and SmackDown champion.
Like full blown, just saying like nobody knows what way she's going to go with this. And the fact that she brought up the NXT championship was kind of surprising, honestly. But it also like makes total sense because NXT is a continuing growing brand. So.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a Bayley come out first and basically just say, you don't got no chance against me. I was in your shoes once and I cashed in and it was successful, but you're going to be the first woman to not be successful in cashing in. Shortly after, Nia comes out and then Bayley starts planting seeds of doubt between the two. Basically, Nia's like, don't forget about me. I'm Queen of the Ring. I got a title shot at SummerSlam. And then Bayley goes, oh, well, what if you win the title and Tiffany cashes in on you? So definitely planting some seeds in there.
Yeah.
Nia goes,
kind of leads to an attack on Bayley. Nia and Tiffany attack Bayley, start beating her down, which, as we've seen over the last few weeks now, Michin comes in for the save.
Yep. And this leads right to their match. Nia
versus Michin.
Pretty much beats her down. Bayley gets back in the ring to try to make the save because it looked like they were going to beat Michin down more. Bayley gets attacked, and then Tiffany goes to look like she's going to cash in her Money in the Bank contract right away.
It's like contemplating it for a while, kind of like back and forth. She's like, am I going to do it? Am I going to do it? She walks over to the ref and like kind of starts to say like, yeah, I want to do this.
Yep.
And then Nia kind of pulls her and she's like, what are you doing? And she's like, no, I wasn't going to do it. Don't worry.
Don't worry about that.
So kind of furthering that speculation of a potential feud or maybe backstabbing of some form eventually that could potentially come about between the two of them. Bayley doing a good job of planting those seeds.
Absolutely. We go into a Bloodline promo where Solo is just saying, by the end of the night, everyone's going to acknowledge him. Everyone. And he put on the people that didn't acknowledge him and says, where are they now? Jimmy, Paul, etc. They're no longer in the picture. So go through that.
He mentions Roman too.
No, that's true. He did bring up Roman.
The fact that talking about people who either need to or have not acknowledged him yet, he pops Roman up. And then he continues on by saying that Cody is going to acknowledge him by the end of the night.
Yep, absolutely. We get a new tag team forming. Corbin and Apollo, they face off against Legado de Fantasma. We get some interference, obviously, from Santos Escobar. And I guess the only interesting thing of note is that we got a new tag team between Apollo and Corbin there. But nothing much from that. Which leads to, this was an interesting promo in the back. Randy Orton tells Cody he got his back, but as he was sitting down, he was looking at the title for a little moment there before talking to Cody, and so I feel like seeds are being planted there for sure.
And seeds have kind of been planted just very. There was
subtly.
A few weeks ago, Cody was delivering the promo with him, Kevin Owens, and Orton all in the ring, and he talked about like, I should be here defending my title against a worthy opponent, and Orton was behind him, kind of just like going, and then he had turned, and we talked about this on, I believe, in an episode. He turned and kind of looked at Cody as he said that. It's like that was like seed number one. That was like, something might be brewing there, and then this where he said, but he told Cody. Even after they're done with the bloodline, he still has his back.
Yeah.
So it's like there's the seeds planted that Orton wants that title, but then he's also saying like, telling Cody that like, I got your back even after the bloodline feud's up. Like anyone else comes at you,
definitely.
I got your back. So
I definitely like the little subtleties from this. And then night full of promos, right? So LA comes out, gives an awesome promo. You can tell he's in the zone again. He kind of, after Roman's title thing, had a few little downer moments, but definitely back on the rise. Great on the mic. But he got a contract for the U.S. title, so it's we've been thinking he's gonna go for the title since before Clash at the Castle. But no, we finally got a contract, and
he signed it.
Aldis has
signed it.
All that needs to be done is Logan Paul needs to sign it, right?
Yep.
So,
and they allude to that then going to be taking place
on the next
episode of SmackDown. Yeah,
correct.
Brings us to tag team championship match again. DIY against ATD, A-Town Down Under, and.
I was surprised that they did a quick rematch for the title. I thought maybe
it happened pretty fast.
Maybe be a little build up, but It was another fantastic match.
They're all very great chemistry.
Great chemistry in the ring. And DIY retains against them, which quickly gets the celebrating gets stopped by Jacob Fatu coming out, destroying everybody.
Dude, this man is a machine.
He
is so fun, and it's there's not a character like, well, okay, there's no one else like him, especially on SmackDown.
No.
I think you could argue that Braun Breaker is kind of the equivalent on Raw.
A little bit, yeah. But not to his extent, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either, because Jacob Fatu is like unhinged.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's like a rabid animal.
Yeah. We haven't even really got words from him other than I acknowledge you.
Yeah. And so it was just, he just 1-on-4 fucking dismantled 4 legit dudes too. Like they're not jobbers. They're like actual fucking
you got
dudes.
You got tag team champions and former tag team champions.
Former U.S. champion in Austin Theory too. NXT champion. Oh my god, man!
So,
like he's
accolades stacked up, and he demolished
destroying them. So Jacob Fatu, they are building him up as a badass motherfucker on that brand. It's awesome.
And then leads to Solo coming out, and he wants Cody to acknowledge him. That's what he alluded to in the promo earlier in the show.
Cody comes out,
brings Cody out.
Some solid mic work back and forth between the two promos. You can tell what it's building towards. Cody ends up just coming out and saying it, and essentially issues the challenge to Solo.
Yeah, he's like, you know what I want. I want a match with you.
Yeah, at SummerSlam. So we officially get that match. There's going to be the SummerSlam match for the WWE Championship between those two. But as in, natural bloodline-esque ways, they attack Cody, start beating Cody down. As we saw in the promo earlier, Orton comes out for the rescue. They kind of starts to work, but then
Jacob Fatu happens.
Yep, Jacob Fatu comes out. Because he wasn't out originally with the Bloodline.
Yeah.
It was just the
Tomaton guy.
Yeah, it was just the 3 of them, right?
Tomala.
And so
quickly
Jacob Fatu quickly gets the upper hand for the Bloodline, and
they wrap Cody up, basically
tie him up
in the ropes, and he gets to watch the murder of Orton. We got a lot of murdering going on.
A lot of WWE has a license to kill. That's for sure.
Orton gets demolished. They follow suit with what they did to Paul Heyman and do the triple powerbomb through the table. I'm gonna assume that Orton's out for a little bit here. And that's how it closes. That's how the show closes. Yeah. So everyone
once again, this is 3rd week in a row, I think.
I want to say
of the Bloodline standing tall.
Yeah.
At the end of an episode of Raw.
Yeah, or SmackDown.
SmackDown. Sorry. Episode of SmackDown. With the Bloodline standing tall after having just completely demolished somebody.
Absolutely.
Throwing the ones up.
So that wraps up SmackDown.
Yeah, brings us to Raw on Monday, on the 15th. And the show starts off with a little bit of a bang here. Yeah. Mommy's back, baby.
Mommy's back. She came back on the previous week's Raw.
Yeah.
And she
to break up what seemed to be a potential cheating that could have taken place by Dom. It looked like he was about to kiss Liv Morgan when he was on top of her in the ring. Definitely looked like it. So this is now the next thing that we got to see, really, because that was how the show ended last week. And so now we got this week. Mommy comes out, immediately just starts calling out Liv, saying she wants the match at SummerSlam and all of that stuff.
But instead of Liv coming out, we got Dom coming out. And
Dirty Daddy Dom.
Dirty Daddy Dom. And Dom is trying to apologize to Rhea. And she's just not having any of it. We got, we go to the back. Dom is still, the whole night is Dom trying to apologize to Rhea. It's very Eddie Guerrero and China-esque.
It really is.
Definitely brought me back to that. He's carrying around black roses around, gets thrown in his face. Very Mamacita-esque going on right there.
Absolutely.
But this leads to, Dom trying to, or Jay asking if Rhea's single, and
Jay's trying to shoot his shot.
Yes.
the straight yeet master, trying to work his powers here and seeing if Rhea's single. Obviously, pisses off Dom and the Judgment Day. Dom goes to Adam Pearce and asks for a match against Jay to try to shut him up and put him in his place and let him know that who's still in charge, essentially.
Exactly. We go into Sheamus defeating Bronson Reed. It was a good match, but nothing crazy. But what really matters is what happens after the match. There's been some seeds going on, but Pete Dunne attacks, looks like he's going to save Sheamus, but attacks Sheamus. So
he does save Sheamus.
Yeah, he does.
Save Sheamus at first. I want to say it was like he hit like the double drop kick or whatever it was on Bronson Reed, kind of knocked Bronson Reed out of the picture for a moment, and then once again, Sheamus goes to kind of embrace Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
Pete Dunne slides out of the ring. Sheamus is just like, "What the hell, man? What's going on?" Turns around, he starts kind of celebrating his win, and then Pete Dunne turns around, comes back in the ring, and then attacks Sheamus. So definitely building towards a feud here.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we get Sonya defeating Zelina, and we just had some interference. Sonya's group is obviously on the rise, and
they're starting to try to build that new women's faction as kind of powerhouses that could rival the Judgment Day.
We got Lyra and Kaden and Katana coming out to make the save. So obviously, trying to continue this feud. It's kind of been developing along. And then you want to go
Chad Gable. I love it because it's so stupid.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that Bo Dallas is behind Uncle Howdy, but Detective Gable on the scene. Goes to Adam Pearce and confronts Adam Pearce and saying that he knows the real identity of the person behind Uncle Howdy. Meanwhile, everybody knows the identity of the person, but he's the one that knows, and he's the one that figured it out, and he's gonna call him out tonight.
Yeah.
So that was that. This brings us to a Damian Priest and Gunther confrontation in the ring.
Yep.
I believe Gunther was out first.
And calls out Priest.
Priest comes out. Priest is getting ready for a match.
Yeah.
But Priest comes out, kind of, confront each other. They start
building up their
feud
towards SummerSlam.
Towards their SummerSlam match.
They throw some good barbs at each other.
They do.
And
fuck, dude. Gunther is taking it personal too.
He's going to a very personal level.
Very personal level. Calling Damian Priest street trash and all this, just all this stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that kind of simmers down, leads to Priest's match, like we talked about, against Braun Strowman.
Yep.
Kind of seemed like it was kind of random,
Yeah, definitely a good test match to lead into Gunther.
Sure,
Got big Braun Strowman.
Yeah, but
Priest goes on to win, right?
Priest ends up winning it, and then Gunther comes back out, and him and Priest proceed to start brawling.
Yeah.
Have to be, broken up.
Priest gets the upper hand, and then Gunther retreats.
Yeah.
We got a scene in the back where Braun Breaker is basically he let Pierce know that he's going to interfere in the match or attack them because he should be the one getting the title shot, he said. So Pierce has. Yep.
There's going to be an Intercontinental Championship match between Ilya Dragunov and Sami Zayn.
Yeah,
we didn't say that yet.
Yeah, that's true.
So that is going to be later on in the night. And then that's what led to this interaction in the back between Braun Breaker and Adam Pearce. He's saying he's going to interfere no matter what because it should be him in this match.
Yeah.
And Adam Pearce
escorts him out the building.
Escorted off the property because he doesn't want there to be interference, and Braun straight up said, I'm gonna fuck this shit up pretty much.
Yeah.
So
We get a scene in the back with the old Alpha Academy. We got
Otis, Tozawa, and
Maxine saying oh, we got his back, and Gable comes along.
Chad Gable kind of overhears this.
He's like, oh, you guys do got my back, and well, no, that is not true.
No.
They were actually talking about Xavier Woods
Yes.
because Kofi's out because of what Final Testament's done to them. So the old Alpha Academy got Xavier Woods' back.
Yes. We had a tag match between the other members of that new women's faction that we're talking about with Shayna and Zoe against Kaden and Katana. And, I mean, solid women's tag match.
Yeah. Once again, interference.
Yeah,
So.
once again, of course.
I think
I get it. They're building this faction,
Yeah.
right? So they're trying to push that forward. So I understand the interference. I just think it's so new that it hasn't necessarily grown on us yet as like the fan base to expect it. We're like, we expect it with the Bloodline. We expect it with Judgment Day for there to be this interference and to understand that and whatnot. So,
I feel like it's just kind of weak. The three women, Zoe and Shayna and Sonya, are tough women.
yeah.
They that's the way they're building, but then it's just interference every match. And
Yeah, that I do feel like in order to establish that kind of dominance and that like we're here to stay type vibe,
yeah,
you need to be able to win these matches or do some of the stuff without the interference
yeah,
first,
yeah,
and then establish it as we know we can do it, so now we're gonna do it the easy way.
absolutely.
Because that's how that's how the Bloodline's done it. That's how Judgment Day's done. You know, they've established themselves. So, like, we're still looking for that, but they're building towards something. But Shayna and Zoe ended up winning that match due to the interference. This led next to Adam Pearce and Drew McIntyre meeting. If you guys recall from the week previous, CM Punk had gone to Adam Pearce saying, like, hey, I want his suspension lifted, like, oh, I want this match with him, blah, blah, blah. CM Punk still wasn't cleared. Adam Pearce told him, like, I'm going to have Drew here next week. I want you to stay home so that we don't have any issues. I can talk to Drew, and we can try to get it figured out to get him reinstated. Drew comes out. They do their banter back and forth. Adam Pearce kind of just explaining to him, like, hey, like, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Drew actually did, kind of apologize for some of the stuff. It looked like it was kind of working towards reinstatement.
Yeah.
And then Adam Pearce brought the two referees that Drew had attacked at Money in the Bank into the ring and told Drew, you need to apologize to these guys. And that hit the last chord with Drew, essentially.
He did not want to apologize at all.
No. And Drew's kind of an idiot in that, in my eyes, in that situation, because it's like, dude, just fucking fall on your sword so that you can get what you want. You can get that match against CM Punk. You can get your hands on CM Punk the way you want to. But he just can't. He just can't swallow his own pride, even though he was in the wrong in most of those situations that have happened. So, anyways. He pretty much says, screw you, I'm not doing that.
Gets in Adam Pearce's face, and then Seth Rollins comes out. And
well, Adam Pearce says first, before Seth even comes out, that he's still suspended.
Yeah, true.
Like,
true.
He's already stated, like, you're not
it.
getting reinstated yet because you are a baby.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And then leads to, Drew kind of gaining, on him, and then Seth comes out for the rescue.
Shoves one of the refs again.
Yeah.
And then Seth, comes out.
Comes out and attacks. So
building something.
Building something right there.
We don't know.
The previous week we had Seth and CM Punk. Actions have consequences moment.
And now
Seth and Drew.
Getting his way into, in with the Drew situation as well. So now there's a, what you could potentially see turning into a triple threat match of some form. Potentially, I don't know. Kind of don't want that to happen.
I
like the Drew and CM Punk stuff as it is without Seth, so we'll see. we'll see where it all goes. But that was that. Then we get another
VHS tape.
Wyatt 6 VHS situation. It was dropped off at the Pat McAfee show
Prior
this
to the
time.
show, yeah.
And brought to Raw by Pat McAfee, and we get it played. And this time,
It's Eric Rowan.
it's Eric
focused.
Rowan. And goddamn, it was good.
It was really good. It had little excerpts of previous things he's done with the Wyatt family, and it was emotional because
Definitely, because they're pulling, and once again, they're pulling real life shit into this storyline.
Eric said he lost Brody.
Yep.
Lost one of his brothers, and then lost another brother in Bray. And then
I mean, they were the 3 founding members of the Wyatt family, so he's literally the only one left.
Yeah, and then
so it's very
basically
emotional.
goes on and says that his new family has lifted him up. He's holding his sheet mask, and he says he has a purpose now. I thought this video was really good. It tugged at the heart a little bit. Well done video.
After this video, we end up getting the match between Jey Uso and Dom Mysterio. It's a pretty good match.
Yeah.
But there were some Liv and Rhea antics outside.
This caused
Liv came out to try to interfere to help Dom win.
Yeah. Rhea came out.
But first Jay got kicked into Liv, knocking her on top. Or sorry, not Jay. Jay kicked Dom into Liv, knocking her on top of him again. Putting her in another risky situation, if you will. Risque situation. And then that led to Liv coming out, Rhea coming out, chasing Liv off. And then Dom pretty much, once again, trying to apologize to Rhea right outside the ring, and her telling him to get back in and finish this match against Jay.
Distractions led to
immediately
Jay.
He gets back into the ring, and Jay reverses one thing, comes off the ropes, hits him with the spear, gets the pin, and Mommy walks away very disappointed.
Very disappointed.
She's walking up the ramp very disappointed. She stops and looks back, and you see Jay shoot his shot.
Yeah. Love what's going on. Love what's going on with that.
But yeah, so Jay defeated Dom in that match.
Alpha Academy comes out.
Yeah.
Or not Alpha Academy, it's Chad Gable. He says he's going to call out Bo Dallas, and he does. And Bo Dallas, sure enough, comes out. It was weird. It was just weird just seeing Bo Dallas come out. There was no Uncle Howdy. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was just kind of weird to see him in his natural self.
But again, that was how we saw him on the last week's
That's true.
episode.
That's true. Adam
Aldous'
Sorry,
goddamn.
Office.
Adam,
Where's
I
your
keep getting my brands mixed up. In Adam
true.
Pearce's office was just him in just normal street clothes. So for him to come out the same way, and it is the new Alpha Academy. It's Gable and the Creed brothers.
Well, we didn't know that at that second. It was just Chad Gable in the ring calling out Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas comes out, and then shortly after, Creed brothers attack. So Bo Dallas comes out, Creed brothers come and attack him, bring him into the ring. The 3 just wallow on Bo. They
beat the shit out of him,
right?
But the entire time it's happening,
Bo was laughing.
Bo Dallas is fucking laughing.
He's laughing it off.
He was given the. Was it the yeah?
Yeah, he was doing the
which
Brody,
is the Brody Lee. So it was a good, paying homage to the late Brody Lee.
And then what was cool about this was obviously lights go out, the other Wyatt 6 come out very slowly, but you see Chad Gable run off, and then
leaves the Creed brothers in the ring to kind of fend for themselves.
Yeah, shortly after Creed brothers leave,
they were like, "Oh fuck this," and they get out and go. Yeah.
But then you see them all do the pose at the end, and he's still screaming out, yeah. It was a really cool
It was.
ending to that segment.
It was very solid.
That leads us to the main event.
Yeah, main event, which was awesome that this was the main event.
Yeah, we got an
Intercontinental Championship
main event.
Sami Zayn and Ilya Dragunov.
And what a match.
Oh my god.
God,
dude.
Sammy, Ilya,
Sami
tear down the
Zayn.
house.
Sami Zayn is on a fucking level right now, dude.
He's hitting
He
banger
is
after banger.
straight up, yeah. Like, he needs to be. He's doing such a great job of just kind of recapturing the importance of the Intercontinental Championship for what it was for so long, way the fuck back.
It's like that stepping stone title, you know?
Yeah, and then and I mean, I don't think I'm wrong in saying that both of the secondary titles, the US and the IC, for the last 15 years have just kind of been like, titles. Like, it's been like, what the fuck's the point of these fucking things?
I would
almost.
say Miz had a really good reign and brought that.
Yeah, I mean, that was even fucking that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
that
was
Miz had that reign.
That's
I mean,
true.
You're talking 15 years ago almost.
That's
like,
that's true. That not quite that, but like 9 years. But yeah, still a long time. Gunther comes along, has a really good reign with it, and then you're like, how is Sammy gonna follow such a strong reign? And he is,
and
now.
the way he's doing it is fucking.
It's a different approach.
He is a fighter's champion.
Yeah.
And he is a champion of the people.
And I think I was worried about that just because Gunther did bring a lot to that title.
Yeah.
He made it feel like a top tier.
Gunther
title.
made it relevant again.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And now Sammy's just fucking like
he's taking
it even higher.
Taking it higher.
Which again, like you said, is like I didn't know if like how that would happen once Gunther dropped it. There is definitely the potential for it to drop back down to a lower tier title.
Yeah.
Dude, Sami Zayn is the fucking Intercontinental Champion.
Yes, he is.
And I mean, it's one of those that is. I hope he doesn't lose it at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Because I want that to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
I want that to continue.
Yeah. No, I agree. The match is awesome, but of course,
fucking great, man.
Braun Breaker comes out.
Who would have guessed it?
Who would have known? He made it back into the building, interferes, and that match ends in a no contest. He takes out both of them.
Yeah.
You know, they're building him back up after his loss at Money in the Bank, and again, just looks like the next big bad for that IC title.
Dude,
again.
He just fucking destroyed both of them. Like, just completely
destroys.
demolished.
Exactly.
For them now every week in a row since Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
So, what, 2 weeks now or whatever, 2 Raws we've had him just fucking shit up. So,
yeah.
And that's and the fucking 3 weeks leading up to Money in the Bank, even.
That's
like,
true. I mean,
he was fucking shit up. He's been fucking shit up for a month and a half on Raw now. Like,
exactly.
Since he made his fucking main roster debut, pretty much, he's just been destroying shit.
He's
So
been causing chaos.
That's
how we closed Raw.
That's how we closed it out, was with the IC, which I thought was awesome. Again, to kind of just like go back to what we were talking about with the importance of the IC title now and the relevancy of it, and how both Gunther and Sami Zayn have now brought it. They brought it back to a very relevant state in wrestling. The IC is not just a secondary blah blah title.
No,
the
100%.
IC is. I mean, you kind of think of it in like AEW, where you have, or AEW Ring of Honor, where you have like the International Championship.
Mm-hmm.
You have the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. You have the
TBS.
TBS,
TNT
TNT title. Like, all of those are all kind of deemed on like the same level.
Yeah, they treat them as big championships.
And so it's like, the IC obviously isn't quite there with the World Heavyweight in the U and WWE, but
the cool thing again was that it was a stepping stone.
Yes.
To get to that next level, and for a long time it was like, yeah, if they win it, that's not going to lead to a world. Like, it didn't have that feel.
They literally had people that were just like, you're never going to get a title shot, like a main title shot, but you are now the U.S. champion.
Yeah.
But that's not leading anywhere.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like, okay. But now it's like, right now, like, I would be willing to, I would put all of my money on the fact that Sami Zayn is going to be getting a main title shot at some point in the near future.
For sure.
And he should.
I
mean, he is one of the most over fucking dudes in the business right now.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Absolutely.
So,
all right.
This brings us
to Dynamite.
To AEW, which we have not talked about.
Not enough.
Not enough, for sure. But that's what I was going to say. We haven't fully talked about an episode of AEW since I think the first episode.
Yeah.
Really. So, we have hopefully figured out a good formula, and we're able to start talking a little bit more about AEW because we both watch it and we both love it too. So, time frame wise, here we go.
Yeah, so
what better one to fucking talk about for the first one back, 250th episode.
Yeah.
And God fucking damn it started off with a fucking doozy.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
We had MJF challenging Ospreay for the international title.
Dude.
And you think, okay, they're gonna have a match.
Bro.
Boy, did they have a fucking match!
You already knew just with the two talents.
Yeah,
you're like, this is gonna be a fucking banger. This is going to be a fire match. I can't wait to watch this.
Yep.
And
they did not disappoint.
Holy shit! I mean, you hear the term instant classic.
This was an instant classic
across all fucking spectrums of wrestling.
Yeah.
This is one that is going to be up there in the books for a very long fucking time as a fucking bar set for how to fucking do it in the ring.
And again, this is not the main title. This is the international title.
International title. And it's not. It's the first match on the fucking card. It's not a main event, nothing, dude. But god damn, it might as well have been.
This match goes for 60 minutes. It goes for the first. This is a 2-hour show. Dynamite is 2 hours. The first hour. Well, okay, I stand corrected. 59 minutes and 58 seconds is how long this match went for. MJF gets the wins the title. That was shocking to me in itself. I thought Ospreay was going to hold this title for a while. But holy shit, this match had everything. But MJF is full on heel now. He is back to his old antics, and it came up when Ospreay hesitated at the end of the match. He doesn't want to do the Tiger Driver after he did it to Bryan Danielson at one of the other pay-per-views. I can't think of the name. So he's vowed not to do it. So he hesitated, gets punched out by the ring, and MJF wins the title. So, holy hell, what a match.
Yeah, right, like you said, man, right before the time limit expired, too. They went almost a full fucking 60. It was such a good match.
It was so good. The drama at the end, you see the timer on the screen counting down until the end of the match, until it would have been a draw.
Yeah.
And it gets down to the last 2 seconds.
Like you said, you got the MJF antics, classic MJF antics, where he cheats to win it.
Yep.
And he did it right in the nick of time, and fuck, man, it was a hell of a way to kick off that 250th episode.
Exactly.
So good.
We got Team AEW shaping up for Blood and Guts. So we have basically the Elite running roughshod on AEW right now. They're the EVPs, the Young Bucks are just causing chaos across the board. Team AEW shaping up, so we got Swerve now in the match. We got Mark Briscoe. We got the Acclaimed. And we got Darby Allin filling out the final spot of that. And they're going against Team Elite, which is the Young Bucks. We got Okada, Hangman, and Jack Perry. So, fucking stacked match.
Absolutely.
And going into Blood and Guts, which is always been a brutal match in itself. So, really excited for where that is going.
Yeah.
And then we get Monet defeating Rose, and Baker attacks. I mean, this is building on Dr. Britt Baker versus Mercedes Monet.
Good match, too.
It was a really good match, and I'm excited to finally see those two collide. And again, this is not for the main women's title. This is for the TBS Women's Championship that they're beefing over right now, but it feels huge.
Yeah.
You got AEW's first top woman versus their new biggest top prospect in Mercedes Moné. So
Yeah. Well, and also just like the way that it went down after that match with Britt attacking. She was in the audience.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
With a fucking mask on.
Sting's mask.
Yeah, Sting's mask. And then that's how she came out and then ended up attacking her. So, just building. And, again, great match. Now the Rose is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
She's really good. And she's like one of the day ones for AEW, too.
Yeah.
Like, she's been there for the entirety of AEW's run so far. And, so it was awesome match. Great way. I mean, Britt Baker versus Mercedes Moné.
It's going to tear the house down.
It's gonna be that is a potential fucking show stealer.
For sure.
Like, no matter what show it's at, no matter what the card is, like that is a potential show stealer because they're both so fucking good in the ring. So
yeah. So that was the episode of Dynamite.
Yeah. It's gonna bring us to our banger of the week.
I think we both
We already
agree.
fucking know.
MJF versus Ospreay.
MJF Ospreay match, dude. That thing
60 minutes.
was. We haven't. I mean, I don't feel like I've seen a match go for that long and that was that good.
Yeah.
Since fucking Cena and Shawn Michaels on that episode of Raw.
I would say we had Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson.
That's true.
And that went to a draw, and that match just because how big it was, that was incredible. But no, we
haven't had one go that long with an actual finish.
True.
In a while, maybe since I could be missing one, but I don't know that I am. Since
MJF actually had an Iron Man match against Bryan Danielson again.
Okay.
Right. but that went into overtime. But that had a finish. But no.
But
to your point, it doesn't happen often.
Happen that often.
It does not happen that often. So again, we agree.
Every other thing that we've said has been AEW, so it hasn't happened in WWE. In a long fucking time.
Long
time. I mean, it probably was the Cena Shawn Michaels match, and that was in like fucking 2000. I don't even fucking know.
Probably the 2008.
Yeah, 2008, 2000. Yeah, somewhere in
time
there.
range.
I mean, it's been going on 20 years.
Yeah.
Since we've had a match like that in WWE. So
look at us going AEW bangers of the week.
Hell yeah, man!
They tore the house down.
They did straight up. It was an amazing match. Two of the best to do it in the ring right now. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it was just fucking like, if you go watch the fucking match, and there will be zero hesitation for anybody else, I would think, to argue against, like, to have anything to argue against this. Pretty much anybody who has any sort of brain for wrestling would know that this was easily the biggest thing that happened that weekend.
Absolutely.
So,
cool.
Yeah. It's going to bring us to our belts question of the week. Tim, you posed
this question. So last episode, you had what you deemed your least favorite move, which is the Samoan Spike.
I fucking hate it.
And so...
It's so stupid, Tim.
So that leads me to
For so many reasons, it's stupid. It's so dumb.
You gotta give a little defense. You can do that move to anyone, right? You know,
well,
big,
yeah,
little.
I mean, unless they're fucking too tall.
Yeah, that's true.
And Solo's not very big, and neither was Umaga. Like, neither of them are super tall. Like, they gotta fucking jump up to fucking spike Braun Strowman.
I'm gonna spike you in the throat and see how you like it.
But it's just, come on. Like, they hold them. The person's just standing there, which there are plenty of moves where this is the same situation.
Very true.
But they're just standing there waiting for it to happen to them. Zero defense, like they're that groggy. It's like they're like, hey, yeah. While the person goes, ah! Like there's not even a surprise factor to it.
No,
you know what I mean? Like at least like the RKO, you can hit the fuck out of nowhere.
Yeah,
literally. Listen to JR.
Yeah,
right.
Out of nowhere. Okay, well...
Anyways, I digress.
we know what your least favorite finisher is, so that brings me to my question.
Samoan Spike, I fucking hate it.
What is your favorite finisher then?
Fuck, dude, that's tough. So, I'm gonna give 3 total. 1 for the just devastation.
Okay.
And then the other two are like in the same vein, but the one is used, which we'll talk about here in a second, well, so often now. The Last Ride by The Undertaker.
Okay.
There's zero bracing for it. It's just a fucking like, ow.
Yeah.
And it's one of, I think, the most believable finishing moves.
Yeah.
Like, you get hit with that, there's zero expectation that someone's kicking out of it, right? Like,
Yeah.
and it makes sense. You're watching them. It's from The Undertaker, who's fucking 6'8" or whatever the fuck he is.
Yeah.
On their shoulders, lifting them up with his arm fucking wingspan, which is another 3 to maybe 4 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Plus the height of the person.
True.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like you're talking potentially 14 feet in the air for someone's head to then just come planting onto the mat straight down on their back without any brace. Like, there's no way to minimize the impact of that move.
Yeah.
Like you're taking the Last Ride. You're fucking taking the Last Ride.
Yeah.
So that's why I think I put that as like my number one, just because of the pure devastation of the move.
Yeah.
It's the most, to me, I think it's the most believable.
Yeah.
Right. In general, I think a powerbomb is one of the most believable moves to like finish something.
Yeah.
But the Last Ride, I know it's because then it's the extra, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. The other two are in the same vein. They're quick hitters. Can be quick hitters, but sometimes are set up very well. And if you would have asked me this 10 to 15 years ago, hands down it would have been Sweet Chin Music.
Okay.
It had the anticipation, but it wasn't the same type of setup where it's like the person's just standing for a certain amount of time, like the Samoan Spike we was talking about.
Yeah.
This one was like they were down, Sean's tuning up the band, he gets that drama built up, and then the person stands up and turns into it, which is an actual, like, that's believable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they're trying to hold themselves up by the ropes and then turn around.
But then, you also had the moments where Sean hit it
out of nowhere.
The number one that comes to my mind is hitting Shelton Benjamin.
I've been seeing that on social media a lot lately.
When Shelton Benjamin jumped off the top of the ropes and came across, it was one of the most clean, out-of-nowhere moves outside of every time Orton has hit the RKO.
Yeah.
Because then that brings me to my next one, which is the most current, my favorite, which is the RKO.
Yeah.
Orton's ability to hit that and how well he hits it and how crisp it is, and especially thinking back to when he first started using it, it was not very good.
Yeah.
He would run from behind you and jump and catch you.
Yeah.
And he straight up missed on Jericho when Jericho had, I don't remember who he had in the walls. But he had the walls of Jericho maybe on Batista or something. It was during the Evolution. And he fucking ran to hit it and missed. And then hit the ground, got up, ran back off the ropes, came back around and then hit it. And that was so bad. But now his ability to hit it is so fucking good, and it's just amazing.
Do you have a favorite one that comes to mind?
Evan Bourne.
I have Seth Rollins at WrestleMania.
Seth Rollins off the curb stomp.
Off the curb stomp. But the Evan Bourne was my next one, I would say.
Evan Bourne one.
So it was just so fluid. Both of them were just so fluid.
So yes, they were both so fluid, and I think they both have I would put them both probably at that same top spot for different reasons, and just because I think the curb stomp reversal into it at WrestleMania to Seth Rollins was probably one of the most out of nowhere. Holy shit! Oh my god! How did he just do that?
Yeah.
And then for Seth to be able to propel himself up that high, turn it into then just land and went up like this.
Yeah.
But then turned it into just landing perfectly into it.
Yeah.
It was beautiful on both parts. I think I put Evan Bourne's up is the difficulty of hitting it and timing it so right. Because he's hitting a fucking shooting star press. He's hitting a forward backflip.
And Randy's coming off the ground.
Randy's getting up from his back.
Yeah.
To then jump up, perfect time to hit it. Man, and that's why I would give those two the same level for me as the Sweet Chin and the RKO, because there's been times where Orton has set it up.
Yeah.
He does the fucking pounding on the ground and he does that shit, which is very similar to tuning up the band.
Yeah.
But it's... Dude,
It's a great, yeah.
I like both of those for those reasons, but pure devastation is the last ride.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. What's yours?
I got the clothesline from hell.
Holy shit, from JBL? Bradshaw, sorry.
Yes.
Bradshaw. Well, JBL did it too.
Yeah, JBL. That move was devastating as hell.
Absolutely devastating.
And it was kind of like sometimes it was out of nowhere, but you don't have someone like just kind of wait. He would just
Dude, that's
like,
so true.
He was groggy, and then he's doing the running, and just bam. I gave all my creative wrestlers the clothesline from hell. That move is just pure devastation. Followed up kind of by the gore, like Rhino's gore.
Rhino's gore.
Not, yeah. I mean, Goldberg had a great. They all have some great, but Rhino's gore was just pure.
And that's why I don't mind Braun Breaker using the spear right now.
Yeah.
Is because it's, and we talked about this. I think we talked about this at Money in the Bank at my place when Nathan was over too. I think Braun's spear is more gore-esque than a spear.
Yeah.
Because you think like Goldberg's spear, Edge's spear, they're all a Roman spear, like they're all like, huh?
It's
a spear. Like they're hitting and following through to the ground.
Yeah. Where Rhino leaves his feet.
Rhino leaves his feet and leaves the person.
Yeah.
Right? Like a lot of the times it was connection and just obliteration, and then like they'd almost land away from each other.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Breakers is the closest thing to that.
Yeah. Yeah, so both running finishers for me. I love the clothesline from hell.
And the clothesline from hell, I feel like, is the perfect combination of the reasons why I gave the last ride and the other two. Because it's fucking just so devastating of a move.
Yeah.
But how many times he hit it literally out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Because that's one... Like, you can't hit the last ride out of nowhere.
Yeah.
The closest you can come to hitting the last ride out of nowhere is catching someone that's trying to hit like a springboard move, catching them in it, but then you still have to hit. It's not really out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But the clothesline from hell, like someone's going to run off the ropes to do something, and he fucking comes out of nowhere. Boom. And that's, I mean, to me, that's more devastating than like the Brogue Kick, the Claymore, which are all also things that are like running finishers that are out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Type of moves. Yeah. I kind of forgot about the clothesline from hell, dude. That's a good one. Good pull. Great.
So, follow-up question. We kind of already talked about this.
Yeah.
You kind of made me want to bring up this next question. So, what are your thoughts on multiple people doing the same move nowadays? So, you brought up Sweet Chin Music. How many super kicks are there out there right now? Which, I mean, I know the Sweet Chin is different, but it's not. So, what are your thoughts on that?
It's really not. I mean, the Sweet Chin Music, in and of itself, it's a super kick.
Yeah.
I think... So I want to word this correctly.
You want my thoughts first?
I think it depends on the move.
Okay.
As to how I feel about it.
Okay.
I'm annoyed with the spear.
Yeah.
The spear bothers me because the spear feels like a legit finishing move.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of Shawn Michaels, the super kick doesn't feel like a finishing move.
Yeah.
To me. Right? So it's like, yes, the Sweet Chin Music was a super kick.
Yeah.
But at that time during Shawn's career, he was the only motherfucker really using it.
True.
For the most part.
True. Yeah.
Right? So it was like, this is devastating because it's the only person we ever see using this move. He's the only one.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, yeah, it kind of makes sense. A super kick, you know, like a fucking step up into Guri.
Oh yeah.
It's the same devastation of a move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or, like CM Punk's knee in the corner.
Yeah.
Same devastation.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, with that many people using the super kick, almost nobody uses it as a finisher now.
True. And no one's finishing off anyone.
Yeah, unless it's by the fucking twins, AEW, the Elite.
Oh, the Young Bucks.
The Young Bucks, thank you.
Yeah.
God damn it. Unless it's like in that situation where they're both like
doing it,
puffing up their shoes, and then they both hit it.
Yeah.
That's believable, right?
Yeah.
You take a double super kick, you can believe that.
Yeah.
So there's that. Like I said with the spear, where like I feel like the spear should be a finishing move, but now you have, I mean, there's at least 4 people
Yeah.
in the WWE alone that are using it as a finisher.
Yeah. True.
I'm like,
yeah.
where's
the creativity here?
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like I said, I feel like it depends on the move itself. Like I said, I'm annoyed with the spear being used so often and so much. But then there's other ones where I'm like, I don't mind it because they're not using it as a finisher anymore.
Yeah. So that leads me to my thoughts, and it just like seeing KO do a Stone Cold Stunner or Seth Rollins doing a pedigree. It like in my head that needs to finish the move, but I think to your point, it depends on who's doing the move. Like Stone Cold, he does a stunner, it's gonna finish a match. KO didn't come up with a move, so I guess it doesn't have the same devastation to it. But those kind of moves, it just kind of that one, it doesn't feel right to be kicking out of those kind of moves when those were, god tier finisher moves. Growing up, when we were growing up watching it, but to your point, but it also plays homage to those guys now. And so I like seeing it, and I like that there's to a degree where they're actually handing off that move to that wrestler, and which is great to see versus just someone picking it up and doing it kind of thing.
I agree. I also feel like I don't think we've seen Kevin Owens finish a match with the stunner.
No.
Which I think that is like, it's paying homage to Stone Cold. He asked Stone Cold if he could take that. They had a match against each other 2 years ago at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Right? But I feel like then there should have been a little bit of like protecting that move.
Yeah, that's
and because it's like, because it is supposed to be such a devastating move that Stone Cold finished fucking so many matches with, and there were the times where people kicked out because that's that happens.
Big time moments.
They were big time moments. Like every single person that KO's hit with that, either he hasn't even tried to pin them after it, or he's used it as like a signature move.
Yeah.
Not a finishing move. And that I disagree with.
Yeah, and that's kind of
same with the pedigree. How the fuck is the pedigree not a finishing move for Seth Rollins?
That move is
like that move literally got like bestowed upon you by Triple H.
Yeah.
That is one of the most devastating moves.
Yeah.
Your arms are behind your back and your face is getting driven into the fucking ground. How is that not finishing matches? So I didn't really think about that stuff when you first asked that question. But yeah, now that we have brought it up, I feel like there should be a little bit of protection to some of these moves.
Yeah.
Because of
the history of wrestling.
The history of wrestling, but also there's no one else using a stunner in WWE.
Yeah.
Or even AEW. There's people that use cutters, but there's not really anyone that uses a stunner.
Yeah.
Right? And
no one's using the pedigree.
No one's using the pedigree anywhere.
So it's to your point, I definitely want protection around those moves, and that upsets me. But to your point, we got everyone doing super kicks, so that's believable.
And here we go.
On to
Blockbusters! So, a handful of things to talk about here.
We got Marvel.
Back to Marvel.
Marvelverse, and Marvel's Cinematic Universe.
Yeah. We are in the potential throes of what could be something fucking completely awesome, and that is the fact that the Russo Brothers are in talks with Marvel to potentially helm Avengers 5 and 6.
Which I'm super excited about.
I'm so stoked.
They were part of some of the best Marvel movies out there. They were part of,
I would argue, the best.
The best.
Outside of Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah. Captain America, Winter Soldier, Captain America, Civil War,
and then
the Avengers
3 and 4, which was Infinity and Endgame, respectively. So, like, the two best Marvel movies,
of course,
hands down, Infinity War and Endgame. So the directors of those two,
hearing their name tied to the next two Avenger movies gets me really excited.
Super stoked.
I think there's just a lot of excitement going into it after the last couple down years. We got a lot of excitement going into the Marvel Universe.
And speaking of the next Avengers movies, Kevin Feige has gone on record to say that not necessarily every character is going to be in these movies. So
True.
they've introduced a lot of new characters over the last couple of years. We still have some characters from the original, Infinity Saga run, that first, 12 years?
Yeah.
10, 12 years of MCU movies. He's gone on to say that not necessarily every character that they have introduced is going to be involved in these movies. So what do you think? Like, what do you think about that? How does that make you feel going into these movies?
At first, I was like, well, what's the point of all these movies? But then I thought about it more, and I'm actually excited about it because that means they're probably bringing in some older faces. They're giving new and old teaming up in these Avengers movies, and I love the first iterations of the MCU, and would love to see them in this new phase. So
Yeah.
so I'm actually excited about it, but kind of it's like it does kind of go, well, who are they going to leave out, and so it's just leading to more questions, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's a part of me where I'm like, okay, well then, like, why are we introducing these characters if they're not going to be a part of the grander scheme of these big fight movies? But at the same time, I'm also like, that's probably for the better because it allows them then to go deeper into these movies with the characters that are involved.
True.
And also, it's like, you can't expect, like, Werewolf by Night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Technically, that's an MCU character now,
Yeah.
right? They did the special on it. Great special. It was fantastic. Like, Marvel's first foray into horror.
Yeah.
It was great. But, like, I'm not expecting Werewolf by Night to show up in an Avengers movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where on the other side of that, Moon Knight, I'm like, I fucking hope Moon Knight's
I
involved.
really
hope
love to
Moon
see-
Knight's involved. I want to see more shit from Moon Knight. I loved that. It's one of my favorite MCU shows.
Yeah.
So I think there's kind of a little give and take there with that sentiment of not all of the characters being involved, because it's like, there's going to be some that we wish are involved that aren't going to be involved, but then there's going to be some that are involved that we're like fucking stoked for.
Yeah.
So I think when it all comes down to it, it's got to be in Feige we trust, because we have no reason not to.
Exactly.
Yeah, the last couple years has been down, if you will, for the MCU. They haven't made $1 billion movies in 3 years or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
oh, boo-hoo. I've still loved pretty much everything that's come out. So
I've thoroughly enjoyed everything.
yeah. So it's whatever it's going to be is what it's going to be, and I'm going to be there for it, and I'm going to enjoy every aspect of it. So
And kind of building off of that.
yes, the new and old characters.
Yeah, we got, X-Men is being introduced into the MCU, and kind of along the same lines of what we just talked about, there's going to be a bunch of old characters and then new ones. And I think that makes sense, at least for the X-Men, because, those characters are aging out, right?
Yeah.
And it's time to kind of do like Hawkeye did with his show.
Yep.
Pass the mantle. I feel like maybe that's what they're going to build towards with the X-Men, the mutants coming into the universe.
Yeah, I feel like that too. There's got to be some point to where people understand that people age. People get too old to keep playing the same fucking character over and over and over again. So you either have to just end the character in and of itself, but that's not the way comic shit works.
Yeah.
Like, Spider-Man's been the same fucking age in comic books since 1915, or you know what I mean? Like, obviously that's an exaggeration,
day by day, but yes.
like, but seriously, like, he's been the same fucking age the entire time. Like, same with all of them. So it's
Other
like,
than The
obviously,
Simpsons.
yeah, The Simpsons, yeah. But it's like, so, and people got to understand that obviously isn't real. Like, you can't have real life live action adaptations of these things and have that same type of thing take place. So I understand the sentiment behind, oh, no one else could play Iron Man, no one else could play Captain America, no one else, like Steve Rogers, no one else could play Wolverine, like whatever it is. But it's like, okay, it's at some point you either have to take it on the cheek and just be like, fuck, they just can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And want the character to continue and be content and open-minded about new people to potentially play that part.
Yeah.
Or you got to be content with it just ending and never coming back.
Yeah.
Which one's better? That's up for people
to
to decide and have form their own opinions around. I personally would love to see the continuance of the characters.
Yeah, I agree. I am in full agreement. I do think
it's important that they cast.
I want them
correctly.
Yeah,
cast well.
Yeah, don't go willy nilly. But yeah, I mean, look at the Batmans.
How many?
There's so
Batmans.
many. But people are goading Keaton as the best. But then Christian Bale comes along, crushes it, and then. I really like Pattinson.
I love Robert Pattinson.
They all brought something to the character, and I have faith that that's what's going to happen further down the road with any of these characters. Yeah. So
that brings us off of Marvel to our next talking point for Blockbusters, and that is the fact that Scary Movie 6 has officially been announced as in pre-production.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of the movies.
I love them.
A Scary Movie was one of the originals to lead there was a big age of spoof movies going on.
Oh, yeah.
After that.
Horror spoofs, sports spoofs, action spoofs. There's a lot of different spoof type movies.
Exactly. And I to this day still think about Scary Movie 1.
Dude,
it was a game changer.
Both the first two. The first two, Scary Movie and Scary Movie 2, with the Wayans brothers in it, were fucking top-notch bar setting. Yeah. The rest of them afterwards, I think, went downhill a little bit, but they were still 3 and 4 were still solid. I don't really remember 5 that much.
I don't think I could say I watched 5, or if I did, it was one time.
But I know 3 was the spin-off of Signs.
Yeah.
Right, with the aliens and the props. That movie was
the
fucking
Ring, I think.
Yeah, and the Ring. That movie was fucking hilarious.
Yeah. It just
and that still had Anna Faris and Regina Hall.
Yeah.
But then with the rest of the cast was new.
Yeah.
But the first and second one, dude, are fucking classics. They're so good.
They really are.
And we've talked about this before with, I believe, on the podcast, with the first one being the spoof being
a Scream.
I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream. And then the second one was all of the
Haunted House.
Yeah. House on Haunted Hill, I think, was the spoof from it.
I think.
Yeah, the Haunted. But anyway, so it was just so many classic moments in all of those movies.
Literally.
Scary Movie 1, the 2 scenes I think that stick out in my head the most are, does this shirt make me look gay? And
how about now?
Ties it up. It's a yellow wife beater tank top. And he's like, no, man, you're good. And then he ties it, flips it up, pulls it tight so it's just right over his pecs. And he's like, how about now? And he's like, no, man, no, you're good, you're fine. That's so fucking funny. And then when Shorty gets shot.
Oh, yeah, and the smoke is coming up.
Hey, Cindy, take a hit of this. That's so funny.
So many funny moments in that.
Good movies.
I remember seeing it in theater and just going, oh my God, I can't believe I'm watching this.
Speaking of some of the original cast, though,
Anna
Faris has stated that she is fully open to returning, given a couple factors, which are totally understandable.
Yeah, she wants a good money.
She wants to be paid quality for her returning in,
because she's a pivotal character.
She is the face of this franchise.
Yes.
She hasn't been for the last 2 of them because she wasn't in Scary Movie 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But
she also said
there's also a reason why those 2 weren't as impactful or as successful. Yeah. So I think she's obviously the face of the franchise, but then to the next point that she made as to her other thing that would definitely get her back would be
bringing Regina Hall back,
because their chemistry on screen is so fucking good.
And I say do it. They need those 2 characters.
They need to get paid. Pay both of them whatever the fuck they want if you want this franchise to continue. Because if you put out another Scary Movie without them, you're just going to drop even farther down.
Yeah.
You bring them back, you're talking about a huge fan base of people that are going to come out to see that shit in theaters, are going to buy it, or they're going to stream it, like everything, because they're so good. And to take it a step farther, bring the fucking Wayans Brothers back.
Yeah. I mean, they haven't talked about who's going to direct this.
No,
or
direct it,
anything.
anyone in the cast, like nothing has been.
They just announced it's official. They're going to make it happen. It's supposed to come out sometime in 2025.
Yeah.
So just do your homework out there, listeners. Watch at least the first two, and you'll know why we're so excited about it.
I would say watch the first three.
Yeah.
I would say watch the first three, because then it was the other one we forgot about the first three wasn't it also War of the Worlds?
Oh, I think that was in number 3. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was 3.
Yeah.
So, because that was with Kevin Hart and Anthony.
I know.
God damn it!
I know who you're talking about.
Anthony Anderson.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah.
Like do your
I'm
due
just reaching
diligence.
for some nuts.
How
so
can you go to bed dead?
How can you wake up dead? I love that shit.
That's
But
real
that
shit.
brings us to our Blockbusters question of the week, which you also posed.
Yeah, I posted.
You got all the questions this week. I'm proud of you. I'm so happy.
So obviously we're in the age of streaming. As you can tell, I am more against the streaming and rely on the physical side of things. But streaming versus theater, what are your thoughts? Are you more proponent to go out to the theater, or are you excited to see a movie in the comfort of your home and get to just watch it on your own?
So I don't have a black and white answer for this.
Yeah.
I love going to the theater. It's always one of my favorite things. I go by myself just because I enjoy seeing a movie in the theaters. But I think it depends on the movie.
Okay.
It's like there are certain movies, and I would argue for myself personally, there are a very good portion of movies that I would prefer and love to see in the theaters, and I usually do.
Yeah.
However, there are some where I'm perfectly happy waiting for it to come out on streaming and watch it at home. It's definitely easier. Like
For
it's
sure.
obviously more, it's just easier to be able to stream from the comfort of your own home. But dude, I mean, I have just a history with the theater of the Harry Potter movies. I've talked about this on here before. It's my favorite movie franchise of all time. I fucking love Harry Potter. And I have a very personal connection with it and the theater because me and my mom went, and my mom's like my best friend.
Yeah.
Right? Me and my mom went and saw every Harry Potter movie in theater together.
Oh, nice.
So, and the last one, Deathly Hallows Part 2, I want to say it was either my junior or senior year. I'm pretty sure it came out in 2011. I just can't remember what time of the year it came out. So whether it was the end of my junior year or the beginning of my senior year of high school. But I mean, we went and saw every other, all of them together in theaters. So I just always have a good just connection with going to the theater and seeing movies on the big screen in the chairs. You got the popcorn. It's just a whole experience that
For sure.
I have a pretty good deep connection with, and that will never change. And that's something that now I have a daughter. I want her to experience that. So with the whole COVID and all the strikes and all streaming and everything, where there's to a point it's been a threat to theater and going to a theater and having that cinematic experience. It's exciting for me to know that it's coming back. We were just talking about this today, where it's there seemed to be a lull in movies for those same reasons, the strikes, the COVID and everything. There seemed to be a lull in movies coming out. Now it's fuck, dude, it seems like every Friday right now we got a movie that we're stoked about coming out.
Exactly.
That's the type of stuff I'm excited for to be able to share with my daughter.
Yeah.
So, what about you?
I lean more towards the theater, but you, it kind of depends on the movie.
Yeah.
But I lean towards the theater because the experience, the popcorn smell, the drinks, and sitting in a dark room and everything. Streaming kind of takes away that magic just because you got your cell phone. It's more easily to get distracted outside of a movie theater.
Yeah.
And I hate that. I do it all the time. I was doing it while watching some of the X-Men movies. I started browsing on the phone and having to rewind a part. I'm like, oh, that was an important part of the movie. So I tend to lean towards the theater, just because of all the memories had in a theater and just some of the biggest movies, you just seeing in that is just so exciting to kind of just feel that atmosphere with other audience. Seeing Endgame at home probably hits a lot different than going to the theater and seeing everyone go like, gas air and everything. So definitely, I'm team theater. So many memories, and I hope to have many more in there.
Absolutely. Sam?
Which leads me to a couple follow-up questions. What is the most memorable movie theater experience for you?
Dude, full disclosure, we're filming this on Friday, July 26th. It's the day Deadpool and Wolverine came out, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think my number one most memorable movie experience in a theater is going to be today that you and me went and saw Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give any reasons behind it,
because
we have a bonus episode of the Triple B podcast for Deadpool and Wolverine coming out on Wednesday, July 31st. So if you want to hear the reason behind why the experience at the theater is my number one right now, you will need to wait until Wednesday, July 31st to hear that. But we will be dropping that. We talk about it on there, but that is hands down my favorite experience in movie theater because of what took place today. It was wonderful. But yeah, what about you? What's your...
I'm going to have to agree with you. Before today, I had an answer. Before today, I had my own answer. I kind of do want to go into that story.
Yeah, go for it.
But like you, today was quite the experience. And
it's one of a kind.
Like he said, listen on July 31st for a bonus episode. But the one that sticks out in my mind is... I went and saw Signs. We've been talking about Signs earlier. Yeah. I saw Signs in theater. I saw it with my buddy Alex, and he saw the movie prior to this. So this is my first time, and I love to get scared. So I'm like on the edge of my seat in part of these scenes and everything. And there's the scene in the basement where the alien grabs the child. It's very dark. Mm-hmm. You don't really see it, but then all of a sudden grabs Alex at that same moment, grabs my leg as they, and I jump up and yell out, "Holy shit!" and it just, the whole theater was just kind of laughing, and awesome. And it is that theater moment just kind of sticks out in my mind. Follow up by Avengers Endgame. Just what a final finale to that era, and seeing it in the packed theaters. But no, to your point, today, July 26th, Deadpool Wolverine, take that, and you will find out on that bonus episode.
Yeah.
Final question.
Yes.
Do you remember the first movie that you saw in the movie theater?
I don't. I don't. I honestly don't. I think it was... I was probably young enough to the point where, like, it was before I really started to know how much this stuff meant to me.
Yeah.
And I really don't. I do know, I can tell you for sure, it was at the Roslyn Theater.
Oh, wow.
I've had a lot of experiences at the Roslyn Theater, and I have a lot of really good memories at the Roslyn Theater.
Yeah.
I have... Anytime I think of the Roslyn Theater, I think of three main things. I think of their popcorn, because it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think of... come on. The pastel candy-coated almonds.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
God damn it. I always forget the name of them. All I can think about ever is fucking Almond Joy, and that's obviously not what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then crows.
Oh, yeah.
The black licorice dots.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I guess that's fourth thing is the giant chewy sweet tarts, because that was what I would get. I have a candy problem. But those are the three things or the four things, I guess, that I would get like every time I went in there. And if they were out of one thing, or maybe I was feeling even more frisky, I'd get Milk Duds. But like I said, I have a candy problem. But yeah, so I don't remember what the actual first movie was that I saw. I'm trying to like think back. the oldest I remember is probably the first Harry Potter movie.
Oh wow. Wow.
Because it came out in, well, it might have even, which one came out first? I can't remember. It was either that or it might have even been the Grinch.
Oh, I think the Grinch came out.
But I was like 7.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm sure I saw movies before that.
Yeah.
Because the Grinch came out 2000,
Yeah.
I believe. And I can't remember when Sorcerer's Stone came out. It was right around then, though.
Yeah,
Within that same, year, 2 or 3 years. So, yeah, I can't remember the first, but I remember a lot of my first experiences at a movie theater being the Roslyn Theater, and like for those reasons, I could like draw the layout of the inside of the Roslyn Theater, and I can remember the smell, and I remember that feeling, and the bathrooms were just like, it was just like a curtain walking into a stall, or a urinal with a stall, like, but it was just a curtain, like there wasn't a door or anything, like. I remember a lot of stuff about it, and just being like my first theater experience was in the Roslyn Theater.
Yeah.
And so yeah. Anyways, what about you?
I think the first one that I can remember was Lion King. I saw the Lion King in theater. I think it was with my grandma and her family. But yeah, no, I can't tell you anything more about the day. But that's the one that stuck out in my mind, is seeing that one. But then definitely memories down the line of seeing, like Harry Potter. I remember seeing some of them at midnight showings. They don't do that a lot anymore. They kind of just do them earlier in the night, but saw like Star Wars Episode 1 at midnight and stuff. So definitely a lot of memories with the theater.
Yeah.
Good memories. So
hell yeah, man. We are theater dudes. We love it. We've already, just since we've been doing this podcast together, 8 episodes in, we've already seen 2 movies together in theater.
Yeah.
That's going to continue to happen because we have a list of them that we want to go see together. And we will keep you guys updated on the show as we go and see those and give you kind of reviews of them. There will be spoilers, so.
Yeah.
But,
so be it. Go see them.
Dude, episode 8, Triple B Podcast. Cheers,
man! And we got
good
a bonus.
fucking pick on the Navigator.
Navigator,
the Navigator bourbon. It's a fucking dope looking bottle too.
Yeah, check it out. Again, got a bonus episode coming out July 31st. Deadpool and Wolverine. Give it a listen. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, man. Thanks.